I, 23 female, reunited with a high school ex, 25 male, after I achieved my bachelor's. Before this happened, my now husband was living with a girlfriend at the time. He admitted to having a lot of money troubles, which she covered a lot for. The short story is his car broke down and she helped pay for repairs along with picking up his share of the rent a few times. We rekindled quickly and eloped a few months into our relationship. We now have a child who's in daycare while both of us work. Our apartment is super crammed, so I discussed purchasing a house. My parents are helping with my school loans, so this would be all on us. We discussed proper budgeting and other ways to save up when he admitted he was trying to save some money to repay his ex for the car repairs. Things unraveled into a messy fight. In my opinion, my husband has felt guilty for moving on so quickly from this girl when we got back together, and he wants to repair the damage he caused. It's not really about the money. He talks with a therapist about it, but no change. I told him buying a house along with our child is now the #1 priority, not this girl. He left and hasn't come back home. He says he needs some time. I left to let my mom and friends know what was happening to hear their thoughts. Mom sided with me, but my friends have suggested it's the right thing for him to do. The girl is fine, so I guess I don't get the point of paying her back almost 2 years later. Am I the idiot for not wanting my husband to pay his ex back thousands of dollars, but he's trying to do this to resolve some guilt? Edit. Let's say that's how their breakup happened. Does that actually impact the situation? Maybe they just broke up. Maybe he cheated. Either way, he and I are now married and have a kid and need to consider money. Yes, he has a moral obligation, but he also has an obligation towards us. So he cheated on her while he was mooching off her? What a prince! He owes her money, so he should pay her back. His child should be the priority, but part of that is teaching good moral lessons like paying someone back when you take advantage of them and take money from them. It's not like you'll be homeless, it'll just take a bit longer to buy a home. You are the idiot, OP. He cheated and still he seems to be the more decent one in this relationship. His going to a therapist suggests that he may be going through something. The fact that the therapist told him to pay his debts back to her could mean he feels guilty about something between the two. Also, if they rekindled after OP completed her bachelor's, things move really fast. She's 23 now, likely graduated at 21 at the earliest, assuming a 3-year degree, and they've had time to rekindle, elope and produce a child. Man, he did the poor girl dirty. I'm assuming the elopement was a shotgun wedding due to an unplanned pregnancy, and that the pregnancy was the cause of the breakup from the ex-girlfriend. This is probably why the husband is in therapy for the breakup. Even if there wasn't active sneaking around behind her back, one minute he was struggling financially and his girlfriend was picking up his slack to the tune of thousands for his car repairs and rent, which in itself implies she felt their relationship was stable and committed, and the next minute he dumped her to rekindle with OP. Talk about whiplash for that poor woman. Wahaha, this guy cheated on the girl who was financially supporting him with OP, and now OP thinks he shouldn't pay her back. Oh, I'm sorry, he should pay her back when they're stable. Considering the amazing life choices you two make, I'm sure that financial stability will be coming very soon. You are the idiot. She lent him thousands of dollars. She could, and should, sue the crap out of him. I adopted my niece, 19, when she was 9 because both her parents were deadbeat idiots. I gave her the best life that I could. She always had everything she wanted and more. I gave her the master bedroom in our home, and I bought her the most beautiful jewelry and brand clothes. I got her a good car as soon as she got her license, and currently I'm paying for her college so she can be debt-free. And got her period. She has very bad and painful periods. She called me to pick her up from school, and I told her it was no big deal and she should just deal with it because I can't pick her up. She said if she could deal with it, then so can my daughter. I got mad and yelled at her that this was different. I couldn't pick her up at the time, but now she could do it and decided not to. She screamed at me and called me an idiot, saying, "You always have an excuse." I'm seriously considering not paying for her college anymore because of her behavior. You are the idiot. If you adopted her, she's your daughter now, not your niece. You dismissed her pain when she was younger, and it would have been wonderful if she'd been a better person than you and picked your daughter up. But she didn't, because you taught her to be dismissive. That she did something you didn't like led to you wanting to stop paying for college is a massive overreaction. No wonder she takes issue with you if this is how you parent. And finally, let's not bury the fact that your phone was dead. The only reason your daughter had to call your adoptive daughter is because her parent and legal guardian was irresponsible and not available for her. Suffer? It's a stomachache, not a broken arm or fainting spell. She might be more comfortable at home, but the school nurse will be able to treat her, lie down with a bucket, and manage her pain, water and maybe Pepto just as effectively. Do you seriously think cutting off her tuition is a reasonable punishment for not picking up your daughter over a stomachache? Wow, you are such an idiot. You don't want to pay for her any longer and are looking for any reason to cut her off. Yeah, good point. Will you cut your daughter off from her college fund if she does something hurtful to your niece? No wonder your niece is jealous of your daughter. You may be providing financial support for her, but emotional support? Doesn't sound like it. She lost her parents, and all you did was step up financially if she behaves. She's not your daughter's mother. You are the parent. This poor niece doesn't have her parents, and now the one adult she does have is threatening something as major as not paying for college because she didn't pick up your kid when she had a stomachache. I was expecting your daughter to have died or something equally dramatic for the level of punishment. My 27 female stepkids go to a boarding school 10 miles from our home that allows for both day students and students who board there. My husband, this is before he met me, switched them from day students to boarding there 2 years ago when his late wife was dying from cancer. He's a doctor, so it was a cruel mockery of all he was to have to watch his wife spend the last year of her life in excruciating pain. When the last months came, my husband had all but emotionally wasted away, and school administration helped transition my stepkids, male teen and female tween, from being day students to boarding school students. They were furious at him for having done that at first, and when my husband and I started dating, sometimes he put the phone on speaker, and I'd still hear the bitterness from both kids about being away from home. But then time passed and the complaints mercifully stopped. I understand I have to earn their trust and respect, and I'm willing to wait as long as I need to get that. However, I've seen texts to their dad where they've said it's hard to respect me, and I can't help but think their living situation is to blame. If they're away from home and calling the other boarding students quasi-siblings, and their dorm parent a beloved aunt and therapist roll into one, they have no incentive to not emotionally detach from their family at home. I recently found out I'm pregnant. However, now that we're married with a child on the way, my husband has said he'll defer to me regarding family matters. I was raised in a Catholic family where frugality is important. My mom always said, just because an expense wouldn't make a dent in your bank account doesn't mean you should spend that money if it's unnecessary. My husband does have money. He's owned pain clinics for years and recently opened up a medical spa. However, just because we have the money doesn't mean we should pay for boarding school. My husband has finished grieving and wants to look towards the future as a united family. So I said that my stepkids should move back in with us. The boarding school thing was supposed to be temporary. We would save a whole lot of money, and in my experience, the bonding I did with my siblings came from helping care for them. I told my husband this and he agreed. We spoke with the school administration to figure out what we needed to do. My stepkids were furious, saying they'd found a safe place with their classmates and this was not our decision. My husband told them he agreed and it was time to come home. They accused him of abandoning them and then changing his mind when they finally felt their boarding school was home to them. Then they turned on me and snapped that I was overstepping my boundaries. My husband interjected and said to apologize for their disrespect, and I had a right to input about our family. Am I the idiot? This isn't just about money. This is about family and wanting them to bond with their new sibling. You are the idiot. Your stepkids have been disregarded every step of the way. They're hurt and feel betrayed and deserted, and now you're heaping it on by once again ignoring their wishes and wants. You want to uproot their entire lives just because you find frugality important. In other words, you put adhering to an arbitrary value above the well-being of the kids. You want the kids to bond with and help care for their new step-sibling. Seems to me you only want cheap babysitters and maybe some playthings for your own kid. You're an idiot, and your husband is too, for deserting his kids and not opposing this stupid idea. It's weird how OP didn't care about frugality until she got pregnant. She didn't care about frugality until she thought about daycare costs and wanting free in-home help. Honestly, she isn't entirely wrong in that she hasn't been able to bond with them because they're in boarding school, but she didn't care about that until she saw how they could benefit her. Exactly. I doubt she's met with them while dating their dad, engaged or married to their dad. They've been at boarding school all year and every year since before their mom died. They didn't get to see their mom at all, probably didn't go to the funeral if there was one, let alone a memorial service, and were just left at the school. My hunch would be that OP was an employee in one of the clinics. OP's only 12 years older than the eldest child. It's telling that she didn't state her husband's age as well. Well, their scumbag father is an opioid dealer. Sorry, pain management doctor, so of course he's rolling in money. Oh wait, Miss Cruella de Gold Digger is frugal, so I'm sure the millions he's earned over the years pushing Oxy onto unsuspecting construction workers and car accident victims have absolutely nothing to do with why she's attracted to an idiot who abandoned his children at boarding school and left his cancer-stricken wife to die alone while he screwed around with good Catholic girls like her. You are the idiot, OP. You're a real piece of work. Those kids both are going to hate you even more. My stepdaughter, 20, is pregnant and due in January. My husband and I originally said we would buy the pushchair for her when she was a bit further along, as she's high risk and has had several losses, and we didn't want it to linger as a reminder if the pregnancy failed. She picked the pushchair she wanted, and we said we would order it for her this month. A couple of weeks ago I mentioned the pram to her, and she asked if her nan had spoken to us about it. I said no and asked what she meant. She then said she'd been shopping with her nan and had found another pram she wanted. This pram was almost precisely the same but was £500 more than the one she told us she wanted from us. I told her that we couldn't afford to spend that much on a pram, and she said that her nan and granddad were putting £100 and the nan on her father's side was putting £100 towards it, and she wanted us to pay the rest. I spoke to my husband following this conversation with her, and he said we couldn't afford it, and said he thought we were buying it outright and not just contributing. We have now told her that we're not buying the pram for her, as we can't afford the amount she wants us to pay, and that the original plan was for us to buy the one she originally chose outright and not just contribute to it. Even with £200 towards it, we still can't afford it. She's now called us unreasonable and said we aren't being fair. Am I the idiot? Edit, for those who don't know the British pushchair and pram, they mean a stroller. The reason we won't give her the money towards it and we're going to buy it outright ourselves on our card is because she has a habit of spending money she's given on things not related to what she asks for or needs. She's previously been given money for food when she didn't have any and spent it on cigarettes and alcohol. Not the idiot. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. Frankly, if she's 20 and isn't on solid financial ground in the first place, then an expensive pram probably shouldn't be a purchase at all. Give her the amount you plan to spend on the original pram, then she can decide how to combine that with the other contributions to choose something. She's 20 and has had several losses. Accidents happen, but multiple accidents by 20? Dang. The birds and the bees and that money don't grow on trees. You'll have bills to pay and a mouth to feed, and there's nothing in this world for free. Yeah, what the heck? If she's 20 and on shaky financial ground, she should not be trying for a baby. What the heck is wrong with people? I feel bad for your grandchild. No amount of assistance will save them from an incompetent mother. Yeah, she found another one that's 500 more. I had a very good quality one that lasted several kids and it was only 200 total. This woman is off a rocker. I agree with the others who suggest giving your stepdaughter the amount of money you were willing and able to pay for the original pram or purchase another needed baby item that costs about the same amount. I'm sorry that your stepdaughter seems like a very entitled brat, because that doesn't bode well for her entry into motherhood. My girlfriend is a real homebody and she doesn't really enjoy doing outdoor activities often. Every other week or so, I like to take the weekend to go camping on my own because there are some great views to see where we live. So I usually head out around Saturday morning and drive a few hours out to a campsite, spend the night camping, ride my dirt bike down some trails the next day, and return home around 5 or 6 the next day. So this weekend, I was packing my bags to head out for Saturday, and my girlfriend asked me, "What do you even do out there?" I told her what I do, and she said, "That can't be all you do, that seems so boring. Don't you go to a restaurant or something?" I told her, "Nah, that's all I really do when I head out," and she didn't believe me, so she wanted to tag along with me on this weekend's trip. I told her that I didn't want her to come with me since I knew she wouldn't enjoy herself and be miserable, and also because I liked it because it lets me disconnect, and bringing people along with me kind of defeats the purpose. She got sad since she assumed that I was only doing it so I could spend time away from her, which isn't true, and she refuses to believe me now. You are the idiot. You go regularly. What's the harm in bringing her for one trip? If she doesn't like it, she'll leave you to it. If she does, well, you've just unlocked a cool new hobby for your partner, which you can share. You can still take alone trips if that's important to you, by agreeing when and where. But deciding for your girlfriend that she won't like it and stopping her from joining you is a bit of an idiot move. Let her figure that out for herself. Yeah, exactly. Like, at least try it out once with her if she's asking to come. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if the girlfriend thinks OP is cheating on her. He goes away every other weekend alone, and then when she asks to come, he comes up with a bunch of flimsy excuses as to why she can't. That would be triggering alarm bells for me. This, OP. Bring her. Let her see for herself. Make sure she has warm stuff to be comfortable and good shoes and things, a book she's been wanting to read, a crochet project, whatever, to occupy her time. It might be good to introduce her to the quiet and see what she thinks of it. So, no idiots here, but I think you could have tried a little harder to explain it.